Hey guys, and down here, this is going to be my chapter review to Nanatsu no Taizai, or the Seven Deadly Sins, 327, the man known as Escanor. Now, in order to enjoy this chapter, I'm going to have to ask you to suspend all logic and all kind of cognizant thought. Any idea or any iota of intelligent, story making, story writing, plot writing, story mapping, all that good shit. All of that, throw it in the bin. You're here for a slogfest. That's what we got. It was enjoyable from that perspective, but from the idea of power scaling, story, this was a shit chapter in regards to that. But did I enjoy it? Yeah, I did. Because the first thing we see is freaking Escanor hulked out. He's in the one form. He's flaming. He looks like he's on some good shit. He's got that roid rage. The Demon King's there, like ready to clap ass with him. And he's just basically just stood his ground. The Demon King is like, hey, I saw this from Purgatory. This is something I want to test out. I want to see how useless both of my sons were in comparison to me. I'm going to jerk myself off right now. So he even sheaths his blade. And I've forgotten what this reminds me of, where there was another manga where there was a chapter where, like, two adversaries just kind of threw away their weapons. It's probably happened multiple times, to be fair, and they just decided to go for a slugfest, and this was that. So from that perspective, it was awesome. The Demon King sheathes his blade, and they both just like walk up to each other. They're almost about to kiss and shit like that. I was like, ooh, this is getting into the you gotta say no homo territory, personal space kind of thing. Diane's there saying, Escanor, you can't do this by yourself. Let us help you. He does the Escanor kind of thing. He's like, I will permit no interference, and I was like, oof. Okay, cool. And we see the lion sin like tattoo on his back. He looks awesome. He's got that wide lat definition and those hella thick like paraspinals or something, or rectus spinae. But he says at this point, he's like, at last this moment has come. And I'm not sure exactly what he was referring to here, because even Merlin, when she stood next to Meliodas, she's just like, Escanor, like, what do you mean? What moment is this? What time has come? So I feel like Escanor was kind of really... I'm not sure if what he meant by this moment. Was it a moment to prove himself, a moment to pay back? Well, actually, I think he does actually refer to it later on in the chapter. He says a moment to pay back, or pay back someone for something they did. So let's actually see what happens. So Escanor, the Demon King, they size up to each other. So Escanor's, like, we know he's the one form, he's huge, but we get a comparison here. He's basically as tall as the Demon King is now, and the Demon King was huge. Like last chapter, and he's been growing with his power. So they both just kind of like just hook each other across the face. They do a simultaneous hook across the face. Meliodas jumps in front of Elizabeth, trying to protect them, because we can't get... Actually, this was an amazing comment actually by the Lobster on Manga Stream. I gave you a like. And he says the reason why Meliodas jumped in front of Elizabeth. He's like, good thing Meliodas told Elizabeth to get back. Wouldn't want her to get any more bloodstained, or wouldn't want her any more bloodstained. I was like, hey, this is my guy. He knows. So yeah, Meliodas jumps in front of Elizabeth. We don't want any more blood on bloodstained Ellie. Escanor and the Demon King are just slogging each other, drawing blood and all that stuff. And the Demon King is actually pushing back the one, which I said in a surprise tone, but now I think about it, and the reason why I actually thought the chapter was kind of stupid was because the Demon King should be kicking the shit out of the one, and everyone around Demon King level, so for instance Meliodas, should be kicking the shit out of the one. And the one, I feel like, it's become one of those vague power levels where it's just like, at this minute in the day, during this minute in the day, he's the most powerful being ever. But we have freaking literal godlike creatures, godlike beings like the Demon King, and then what Meliodas is supposed to be able to do now in terms of the power he's achieved. They should be smiting Escanor. He may be the one, but the reality remains that this isn't his grace, this isn't his innate ability, this is a borrowed power, and he, for some reason, can achieve basically godlike qualities, even though these guys have been alive much longer, training much longer, fighting many more battles. And I understand, some people are just born with it, but Escanor wasn't, right? So the Demon King's there, once again jerking himself off. He gets punched straight into the ground by a really, really proud Escanor, saying that the Demon King's hits are nothing, or a sting, but nothing more. We actually get this nice kind of panned out view here, where we see the lake kind of just, the middle of it just explode with the power of Escanor. Meliodas and the rest are just watching. The Demon King's on his knees at this point, bleeding from his mouth. Escanor's chatting shit. Demon King continues to smack the crap out of him, absolutely like punching his like that. At one point, I thought he beheaded him with a punch because of how hard the punch was. But then we have Escanor just headbutt the Demon King in the face. His nose goes all bent. I thought that was pretty funny. The Demon King, like I said, should be wiping the floor with Escanor. That's my opinion. I think it should really be fact, right? But the Demon King should be wiping the floor with Escanor, no matter what form he's in, no matter who he is. He should be kicking the shit out of him. But apparently, the one, you're just more powerful than anything. Diane, she's kind of expressing what the viewers and the readers are thinking. She's like, I can't believe it. Escanor's actually going toe to toe. Well, actually, she says she's surprised that the Demon King is able to go toe to toe with Escanor's the one say. I shouldn't have. I'm not gonna roast the manga stream translators. They got a lot of shit to do. But yeah, she's there like, oh my god, the Demon King can go toe to toe with the one stay, and I'm just like, yeah, like he should be kicking the shit out of the one. I don't. You guys tell me what you think of that, but I think the Demon King, anybody of that level, Supreme Deity, Meliodas in his kind of Demon King form, because that's the power he has now, they should be kicking the shit out of the one form. I mean, we've seen Meliodas fight against the one before, and he, I don't think he actually did too much damage. But that was when he wasn't even like full power. This is full powered Demon King. This is the Demon King at his peak ever, I think. But this is where Ban kind of makes mention. He's like, yo, like the one may be doing a pretty decent-ish job, but the issue here is time. The Demon King here makes mention. He's like, I commend you to think there would exist a human who could trade blows with me equally, totally neglecting the fact that Ban has stood right behind Escanor. He's just like, that guy was kicking the living shit out of you a few chapters. Well, give it like 15 chapters ago or some shit like that. Do you not remember him doing that? Anyway, this is where we see Escanor, his time limit starts to fade. You see the flames around his delts vanish, and the Demon King just punches him straight in the gut, saying time's up. And this is where we see Meliodas' face. And Escanor's there like, my friend. He's thinking this. He's like, my friend, with this, at last, I can fulfill my oath. So this is what he must have been referring to at the beginning when he said that that line where he was like, at last my time has come, or the time has come. So I'm not sure if he made an oath to Meliodas when he was younger. I'm not sure if Meliodas reminds him of someone he made an oath to, but he seems to be very, very keen to fulfill some sort of promise that he made to someone at some point. Then he goes, even though the minute's up, his hair goes, his whole body lights on fire. The aura around him, the air around him, is on fire. He has this flaming light-based aura, and the Demon King is surprised because his fist is now stuck in between the linea alba of freaking Escanor, between his abs. And he's like, the fuck is going on? I thought you had a minute to be the most powerful being. So once again, it's one of those things where Nakaba's like, oh, who said it was a minute? That was just an assumption, a broad assumption made by Merlin. And Escanor's got a sun boner again over Merlin, and he's powerful as shit. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna suspend, moment of disbelief here, or a long period of disbelief. Let's say I'm gonna suspend all idea of maybe I should consider this and be analytical. Forget that, because if I was being analytical about this is a really, really shit way for Escanor to get a power up. Like, oh, my minute's up. Oh, no, it's not. I'm super powerful again. This is the second minute of noon, The first minute is just the sun reaching its peak, and then it's actually at its peak. I don't know, man. This power up seems major bullshit to me. But what I'm really, really excited about, besides the rest of this shit, is the fact that next chapter we have a color spread and all that stuff, but we go through a 43-page side story. The truth of his oath shall be told. So we get a backstory on our boy Escanor. Finally, this is something I've been waiting for a long time, and I know a lot of people around the world have been waiting for an Escanor backstory. We get to see if he's actually referring to Meliodas as my friend. I can finally fulfill the promise I made to you however many years ago. Whether he's referring to Meliodas or whether it just showed Meliodas to throw us off, whatever it is, we get to see Escanor's backstory. Something I am thoroughly invested in. So maybe this was a shit fest in terms of pure storytelling. In terms of an action chapter, it was alright. But I'm really excited for what we're going to see next. Hopefully that'll be like the part that Nakaba actually planned out 10 minutes prior to, drawing it out. So let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in a bit.